Looking for an elevated dining experience with a lively bar atmosphere? Then Jackson's Restaurant and Bar in Monaca is your destination. Join Jackson's for a party on the patio, 5 to 8 p.m. June 19, with seasonal cocktails like sangria and raspberry lemonade, live music from the Groove Doctors, and an appearance by the Beaver County Radio Morning Show. Jackson serves modern American cuisine with a fresh flair, perfect for lunch, dinner, and a special Sunday brunch and dinner. Located near the Beaver Valley Mall, adjacent to the Hilton Garden Inn, Jackson's event space is the perfect venue for weddings or anniversaries. Visit jacksonsbeavercounty.com for details.
Beaver County Boom is turning 15 on June 28th, and Push Beaver County is celebrating by presenting an encore of Zambelli International's gold medal-winning Cosmic Connection show. The 15th annual Beaver County Boom is presented by Visit Beaver County. Air Heritage's vintage C-47 military airplane, the Luck of the Irish, will fly over along with skydivers, and it will all be followed up by the star of the show, Beaver County Boom, at 9:45 p.m. All the action takes place over the Ohio River between Monaca and Rochester. Bring your radio along or listen on your smart device to the Clearview Federal Credit Union live broadcast on Beaver County Radio beginning at 6. Title presenter sponsor of Beaver County Boom is Visit Beaver County. Diamond sponsors include Clearview Federal Credit Union and the Davis Foundation. Media partners include Beaver County Radio, the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce, and Simonic Creative, among others. Don't miss Beaver County Boom, Saturday, June 28th.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents the smash hit Broadway musical Sister Act. Don't miss the finale of our Clearview Federal Credit Union subscription series on stage June 20th through the 29th. Get tickets now at lincolnparkarts.org.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30, right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMVA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM.
This is a test of the emergency alert system originating from WBVP. The broadcasters and cable operators of your area, in voluntary cooperation with the Federal Communications Commission and other agencies, have developed this system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. This is only a test. If this had been an actual emergency, you would have been given emergency information or instructions. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
Get all stars now.
And now, Patriot Home Care is proud to present the Beaver County Radio Morning Show with Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey. Frank and Scott will get you caught up on what's going on in the world with news, sports, and entertainment, along with playing some of your favorite tunes, including Pittsburgh area bands. And now, here are the hosts of the show, Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey.
And we are here on the Beaver County Radio Morning Show. Scott Tatey along with Frank Sparks. And thanks for tuning in this morning. I'm going to get used to running the board again now, Scott. Scott runs the board every day, so it makes it a little easier on me to just kind of hang out. But Dale Reckless is joining us from MRS Physical Therapy for his monthly visit. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning. We got a full house here today. This is going to be great.
Yeah, we're going to... It's going to be interesting. I'm looking. I haven't seen those apparatuses before, so this is something new.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. If you're tuning in to watching on the Facebook Live, that's going to be a great advantage of you today. Otherwise, listening on the radio, you're going to hear a lot of talk about your feet and your shoe wear is what our today's topic is, and everything that kind of comes along with that. We're going to talk about everything from plantar fasciitis to ankle sprains, and what's the difference between a high ankle sprain and a regular ankle sprain. Everyone always wonders that. You hear about it in football and things like, well, what is that? A high ankle sprain? What's a regular ankle sprain? Why is it taking them so long to heal from that high ankle sprain? I sprained my ankle. I was good in 2 weeks. Why is he still out, 8 weeks later? What's going on with that? So we're going to talk a lot about the foot, the ankle, shoe wear, and how that affects your overall mobility, your balance, your everyday life. So I have a lot of stuff here to demonstrate, and I believe you brought an unsuspecting intern in to help us out today that had no idea when he walked in the door 10 minutes ago he was going to be live on air showing off his footwear. So thanks for helping us out today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead, pull it up.
Yeah, of course. I was just told, I'm the intern, so I'm basically the designated guinea pig. The
life of an intern. We've all been through it in our beginning stories, right? So this is your beginning story that you get to share.
Just think, 30 years from now, you'll share this story that this was your first live on-air experience.
Right, yeah. When I first started, I had to take my shoes off and stand up on a table. And, you got to believe what I had to do to get into radio.
Do it all today. I have a way of throwing somebody under the bus every time I know Dell needs a guinea pig. I'm like, I'll run the board today. When Scott's
wait a minute, now I see that.
So I did warn everybody to wear clean socks ahead of time, but I can't promise you.
Are good, yeah, especially for the foot talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I pointed out, when my shoes, I wear them out at the heel so quickly compared to, am I walking oddly, or is there a reason for that, or what can I do?
I think you're just odd, Scott.
I just go through tennis shoes so quickly, and it's always the heel that goes before any of the rest of the trip.
It's probably related to your gait. Your gait is how you walk. So if you wear, and I always tell people this, looking at your shoes is just like looking at a car tire. You can look at the treads and see how you wear them. Just like on a car tire, you can see, maybe your car's out of alignment. Well, our bodies can be out of alignment as well. And how we walk, which is called our gait, affects that, as well as if our shoes are supportive or not supportive, as well as what we have inside of our shoe, which is called an orthotic, which I brought a sample of here as well. So we're going to talk about that with our foot and shoe talk today quite a bit on, is our body properly aligned, and what happens when our foot's out of alignment because of our shoe wear or wearing orthotics or not wearing orthotics, how that affects not just our feet, our ankles, but it also affects your knees, your hips, your back. Just like your car tire for the car people that are listening. If your car tires are wearing uneven, there's probably something wrong. If you continue to wear those tires unevenly, that starts to affect other parts of your car. Same thing with your foot and your body. If you notice that your shoe wear is wearing unevenly, that's usually an indication of something, the way you walk or how you walk. It could be something easily correctable, like a flexibility issue. Or strength issue, or it could be something just to make a simple adjustment for your shoe, which I'm going to show you today. It's a super easy adjustment. Just using these orthotics can help you get your foot into normal alignment, so you're not having the ankle pain, the knee pain, the hip pain, the back pain. That can all come from just improper shoe wear.
So why is it that sometimes, like I'll use myself in the example, I have a hard time finding shoes that don't make me hurt? Like I'm flat-footed on one foot, so whether it hurts my arch, whether it hurts my legs, whether it hurts my back, whether it makes my knees hurt. Is that just the difference in shoes are made, or because it's like all of a sudden I can't find anything and then I find one pair of shoes and I settle on it and then they quit making that pair of shoes?
Well, that's the challenge these days, right? So it used to be when we grew up, in the 80s, you had a certain brand that were your go-to brand.
Right.
Like I ran in high school, my brand was New Balance. I knew if I bought a New Balance shoe, I was good to go. And they had a lot of different models. It kind of depended on how much I wanted to spend on it, but I knew if I got a New Balance shoe, that was the right shoe for me as a runner. The problem is all these brand names have gotten into making all types of shoes now. They make shoes that are not just good for stability and support, but they make shoes shoes that are good for fashion, right? That's what we all spend money on, is the fashion of it. And the fashion shoes can a lot of times just be a piece of junk, where they're just a piece of fabric that's fashionable but not functional. And if you're choosing fashion over function, that's when you're going to run into problems. And I see a lot of this with teenage athletes, including my kids that are teenage athletes, that are choosing fashion over function, and they're ending up with knee pain and ankle issues. And if I don't correct them, which of course as their dad I'm correcting them, what they need to wear on their feet as volleyball players or basketball players or whatever it is, if I don't correct them, they're going to run into long-term chronic problems. So I think the number one mistake that happens is you're choosing fashion over function. And that's what you're going to learn today by watching the show. By the end of today's show, you're going to learn to choose a proper shoe that's best for your function, for stability, to get you with whatever activity, whether that's you have a job that you're standing or in your feet a lot, or if you're an athlete, if you're a runner, or if you're, a volleyball or a basketball athlete, how to choose a proper shoe that's going to give you the support and stability that you need, because you really need to choose the function over the fashion.
I noticed a lot of, there's some of those brands out there that have those new slip-on shoes. Are those tieable? Are those good or bad?
Yeah, the slip-on shoes I worry about because they don't give you the ankle stability that you need. And just like, I have this happen all the time where, especially people that are older, they don't want to have to bend over. They have difficulty bending over to reach their shoe, to put it on or tie their shoe. And they're like, well, let's get the slip-on shoe. The problem with the slip-on shoe, which often some people just wear slippers around, or, the Crocs have become really popular because you just slide it on. They don't have any kind of ankle support or stability. So if you're an individual that needs ankle support or stability because of your activity level, whether you're a pickleball player or a volleyball or whatever it is, or a walker, if you're walking on uneven ground, mowing the lawn, it could be something as simple as that. If you don't have a good shoe with support and ankle stability, you're going to run into issues with that.
I'm looking at some of the things you brought here. This is like corrective wear, or is this just everyday wear? Or
so I brought a lot of different things, and the one thing we're going to talk about quite a bit. What was your name, intern?
Dustin.
Dustin?
Just call me intern.
Okay. So Dustin the intern is going to demonstrate some things for me today.
Okay.
And I've never met Dustin, so I don't know what to expect. So Dustin to me would be a patient coming in off the street, like anyone listening, be coming off the street and say, hey, I'm worried about, I want to know about my footwear. Is what I'm wearing good? Is it bad? Do I have any ankle issues? Dustin might be completely fine. We're going to do an evaluation for you guys today and kind of show you what I would do in my clinic if someone were to walk in and say, hey, give me recommendations on what I should do. So this is a great opportunity, kind of a blind study here where I've never met Dustin before, and we're going to kind of show you what I would do as a physical therapist at Amherst Physical Therapy to assess his feet and his footwear. But Scott, what you see in front of you are a lot of different things. Some are very specific to an issue. So I brought in very common diagnosis that I treat at Amherst Physical Therapy and Cranberry Physical Therapy is plantar fasciitis. And plantar fasciitis can be a very painful thing that you deal with. So a number of things I brought in are very specific to plantar fasciitis. Some are more specific to ankle sprains. And another thing is the orthotic I brought in, which is good for about 95% of the population that I have here. And this is an orthotic that's called a Power Step orthotic. It's recommended by most podiatrists, which are specialty foot doctors. It's a full-length device, and it gives you good arch support and good heel cushioning as well. And it's good for people that have flat feet, or they overpronate, or they need a little bit extra support in their arch. It's good for someone that has plantar fasciitis, or just someone that knows that they need to get support in their foot and ankle so they have normal alignment, which I'm going to show you with Dustin here, to help normalize the alignment of their foot so they don't develop ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, and back pain, which can come just from stuff that happens at your foot. So what happens at your foot affects the whole chain. What happens when your foot hits the ground affects not only your ankle and your foot, but affects the knee, the hip, the back, and I'll show you that with our demonstration here in a little bit.
So what about, like, for me, for example, I'll just use with the orthotic like that, with having flat arch, basically, it hurts me. So why? How could you get around something like that, or is that something you just got to work through that pain and it goes away?
Yeah, so this is good for someone that has a flat foot because it actually gives you your arch back.
Okay.
So the first thing I tell people is when they show me their shoes, I take out whatever they have inside their shoe. Sometimes they're glued in and I can't take it out, but most of the time it pops right out. And it's just a simple insole that's just a piece of fabric that's cushiony, has no form to it.
Right.
Or if it's in your shoe, when it pulls out of your shoe and it looks like it has form, it's no more than just a piece of fabric. So when you actually put weight on it, that form disappears. And Scott's
got his off already.
And what we're going to do is I'm going to have everyone take off one shoe, and I'm going to give everyone a shoe analysis today.
Right.
Everyone that's in the room, we'll take off a shoe, we'll take a look at it, and I'm going to go through each shoe and tell you what's good and bad with your shoe. And that'll give people that are listening and watching an idea of, Scott had some New Balances. Everyone has probably a different type of shoe on. It's not just the brand, but it's the make of how it's created that's important for the shoe.
Mine are going to be tough to be able to analyze because I follow the Dale Reckless rule. June 1st, new pair of shoes. Every 6 months, new pair of shoes. So mine are just freshly new, so it might be hard.
That's perfect. So we're going to take a look at those shoes too and see what
how bad
new shoe looks like.
And I will tell you straight out, when he's talking about plantar fasciitis, Dale and MRS Physical Therapy very good at solving it because I had it really bad, and within actually was within a week I was feeling better. But then
it's always great to have a personal testimonial here, so I appreciate that, Frank.
It totally went away totally. Like I've never, since I've been there, and that was probably been 2 years, I've never had a problem with plantar fasciitis since.
And part of that is the therapy that we do for that time period, but the most important thing is the follow-up, the education that we do. We always do a lot of education with our patients. Okay, you developed this is why you developed this, and this is what you need to do to prevent it from coming back. So that's a big thing for us is, we want to take care of you so you don't need to come back to see us for the same thing again. So we educated Frank for proper shoe wear, as you heard him say.
My favorite thing, the bottle of water too.
Yep.
The frozen bottle of water.
Frozen bottle of water under the foot to roll that, to help out with, to educate so you don't need to continue to come to therapy forever. We want to educate you so you know how to take care of yourself and your body.
All right. You want to take a break? And then...
Yeah, we'll set things up. Yep.
Set things up during the break. And then when we come back, Dustin, sorry, you're going to be on top of the table here and getting some demonstrations, but I'm looking forward to seeing this. So, all right, I thought it was going to be you, Scott, but, you're lucky.
My shoe's off. I'm still ready.
All right, we'll be back with more right after this. All right. In a recent live broadcast, Dale Reckless from MRS Physical Therapy stated that if you are over 65 years old, the CDC recommends getting an annual fall risk screening.
Your vestibular system is similar where it starts to slow down at the age of 40 to 50 years old. Your balance systems start to change at the age of 40 to 50 years old, and they keep getting worse. So it's not just something you do once, but you should do it annually because your body continues to change year to year as you get older.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place that your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy, located in Stone Point Landing in Bridgewater, or Cranberry Physical Therapy on Route 19 in Cranberry. For more information, call Dale Reckless today at 724-728-7550 or visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
What's everyone in Beaver County talking about? It's Beaver County Radio, brought to you exclusively by Fry Transportation. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, a winning team in Beaver County.
Cruising season is here. For some of you, that means shining up the car and heading down the highway. For others, it might mean grabbing the wheel on the other side of your vessel and cruising the local waterways in your boat. Yet there are some of you that cruise season means letting somebody else do the driving while you enjoy all-you-can-eat buffets on a luxury liner at sea. This is Andy Dengel from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Well, whatever floats your boat. Freedom United Federal Credit Union can get you cruising sooner than you think with easy-term auto, recreational vehicle, and vacation loan programs. Put things on cruise control. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union today and let the fun begin tomorrow. Loans are based on credit approval. Visit freedomunitedfcu.com for rates and details. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Got kids? Too much to do? No time to cook? Download the McDonald's app today and get dinner delivered straight to your door from DoorDash. McDonald's makes it easy for you and your family. Download the app today and get exclusive deals and rewards. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Friends, how about a roofer that takes pride in exceeding your expectations? Barbara and James from Beaver Falls were highly satisfied with the great work that NASCO did on their roof and how quickly they did the job. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Barbara and James, and they can help you next. Locations in Pittsburgh and Youngstown, the pros at NASCO passionately roof the region. Most jobs can be done in a day. Get NASCO on your roof. Call 412-373-2000 or go to NASCOroofing.com. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Beaver County Radio and the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company have teamed up again for the third annual Cruisin' the Ridge Car Cruises. This year's car cruises are presented by Falcone's Moon Township Ford, A.K. Nahas Appliance Furniture, Mattress, and TV, and Dan Hoffman State Farm Insurance. Join us Saturday, June the 21st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the second of 5 cruises. Cruises are being held at the Beaver County Radio Studios at 4301 Dutch Ridge Road in Brighton Township. Solid Gold's Saturday host J.D. Merkel will spin tunes in the parking lot. There will be food trucks, a 50-50, and a Chinese auction. New this year is a swap meet area, and each cruise will have a theme to it. June's theme is trucks. The cruises are rain or shine, and the first 100 cars receive a dash plaque. Collect all 5 for a chance at a special prize at the end of the year. Cruising on the Ridge is also being sponsored by the William Murphy Funeral Home, Forward RX, the Lisa and Tank Latham team at eXp Realty, Electric Garage Door Sales, J. Young Refuse, the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company, and Beaver County Radio.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
Beaver County Radio, coming to you live from the all-new St. Barnabas Broadcasting Studios in Brighton Township.
We're back here on the Beaver County Radio Morning Show, and this has to be a new one for me, Scott. I don't know about you, but somebody up on the table, and it's an intern, and he can say this is like his greatest summer ever. So Dale Reckless is here from MRS Physical Therapy, and we're talking proper footwear today. And Dale's actually got all the shoes lined up on the table. So we're going to a little bit later on have a contest on who can name what shoes. I guess we'll have to describe them a little bit for people on air. And if anybody guesses somebody's shoe correct, we're going to give you $100 in scratch-off lottery tickets.
Ooh, I love a good contest.
Yeah. So somebody got to pick the shoes. But we'll get to that soon. So now you've got poor Dustin up on the table here. So where are we going?
Yeah, so I have Dustin, as you've been listening in. I've never met Dustin before. He's an intern here at the show. And so we're going to imagine Dustin came into my clinic and said, hey, I want some recommendations on, footwear. So I'm going to buy some new sneakers. I'd like to do certain activities, whether it's pickleball or basketball or tennis or volleyball, whatever it is. And he just wants to get some advisement on shoe wear. He may or may not have come in with any pain or discomfort. Sometimes my patients come in, they just want some advice. Sometimes they're having specific issues like plantar fasciitis or recurrent ankle sprains. Maybe, in high school, he did a lot of activities that, sprained his ankle a couple times. So now he wants a good supportive shoe that's going to be best for him for his foot. So the first the first thing I do is I watch them walk in. Like as I described earlier, I always look at the tread of bottom of someone's shoe. So this shoe here, I took a little glance at these shoes before they came in. I don't know if you can make this out, but this shoe's kind of lost all of its tread. So just like a car tire, if a patient were to walk in and the bottom of their tread is completely worn out, then I'm going to say, I can tell you've had these shoes for a long period of time, and it's time for a new pair of shoes. Number one, because you've lost all the tread on the bottom, so you're at risk of slipping and falling because of that. Or I might have someone come in that's more of a fairly new shoe, so you can see the bottom of this shoe here. I can see all the tread design. There's nothing really worn out. I can tell this is more of a newer shoe for this individual. I won't give any hints to whose shoes these are. But you can tell that, the shoe wear on the bottom. I don't see any unevenness. So Someone that might have been wearing a shoe for a longer period of time, I can look underneath and I can see there's a little bit more unevenness where, just like a car tire, you can see these tread lines start to wear out. They wear thin or they almost disappear. So I can start to evaluate their shoe before I even look at the person to see, okay, this person walks a certain way. And they might need, certain help with that. The bottom of this shoe is, I don't notice much difference in the tread at all on these. This is a pretty good sole, the bottom of the shoe here, a pretty good wear on that. That's still there. But I'm going to look at the patient, of course. So I want to see what happens at their foot when they sit and when they stand. So when you're sitting in your chair, and you can kind of look at if you have someone at home with you or a spouse or whatever, you can kind of look at each other. When they're sitting, you should see a little bit of an arch in the foot. I'm just going to point to that area here. Okay, so this arch in the foot right here, you should see a little arch, a little bit of a dome there when they're sitting. Now, what happens when someone goes from a sit to stand test? That's the test I'm doing. This is called the navicular drop test. The navicular bone is a very specific bone on the inside of the foot near the arch, and I want to see what happens to that bone when they go from sitting to standing. And if someone has flat feet or they don't have good arch support, that navicular bone will drop down and that arch will disappear. So if you're watching from home, I have Dustin sitting now. If you're just listening, he has a little bit of an arch in his foot, and then we're going to go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and stand up now, Dustin.
And the table held.
So as he stands up, that arch disappears. So his foot rolls in, if you're not watching online. So his foot rolls in, that arch disappears. So that dome, that inside arch of his foot, is no longer present. So that tells me that he is a pronator, meaning his foot is rolling in, and he's likely to benefit from an arch support or a simple orthotic to help out with that. I can also have him turn around. So carefully turn around, Dustin, so your back's to the camera.
Where's Joe Henry when you need him, Scott? Can you imagine Joe Henry doing a move on him
What
right
I
now?
look at from the back is what his calcaneus or his heel looks like. So someone that pronates or rolls in, the calcaneus or the heel is going to roll out. So I'll point to that here. So you can see this heel here is now coming out, rolling out as that ankle rolls in. So go ahead and turn back around again. So he's at increased likelihood of spraining an ankle, having ankle issues, knee issues, and hip and back issues because of that rolling in. So when his feet roll in like this, his knees will actually come together more. And that puts strain on the inside of the knee joints. It puts a strain on the hip joints and can put a strain on the back as well. So what we want to do is correct that alignment with an orthotic. So I have a simple orthotic here. This is not custom made. These are just off the shelf. And they're only $48, so they're relatively inexpensive. But the benefit is that they're full length. They have the cushion in the heel, and they have the nice arch support here. So that when he stands on it, and puts weight on it here, that arch is not going to disappear. It's going to stay there. Now, let me show you a comparison to that. And I'm going to pull out what came out of one shoe. And if you just look at this piece of material here, it looks like there might be a little arch, but there's nothing to it, right? It's completely a piece of fabric. When he puts weight on it, there's no support there. It's just no more than a cushion there.
Okay.
And then I think one other one came out here. Yeah. This one. That's a little bit glued in, so I'm not going to take that one out. I don't want to ruin people's shoes here. But you got an idea from that brown shoe. When I took that insert out, there's no arch support there at all. It's just a piece of fabric. So there's really no support in any of these shoes for the arches. So each one of these shoes gets an F as far as arch support goes. So they all should really have some kind of supplemental orthotic that goes inside of it. And I'm going to show you what that does. So this orthotic, I'm going to put each one under Dustin's foot here. So let's lift up your foot here. Now, I brought a size 10, and Dustin's a size 11, so they're not the exact right size. Let's step on that there. So what that does, it now supports his arch. So when he's standing, it helps support his foot underneath that dome there. So now he's got arch support there. So that puts his foot into a more neutral or normal alignment, which is going to help out with any foot ankle issues. It's going to help out with any knee issues, hip issues, and back issues as well. So just a simple $48 off-the-shelf orthotic, which we do sell. Our prices are, I think, better than what you can even get online. You can get an orthotic at the store if it meets the same standards. You don't have to get my brand, but our brand is pretty well proven to be one of the best out there, and it's a really reasonable price too.
How often should you replace your orthotic?
That's a great question. So just like your shoes, orthotics should be replaced about every 6 months if they are the shoe that you wear all the time.
Okay.
If you have 5 different pairs of shoes and you're not wearing them all the time, then you'll get more life out of your shoes. But I would recommend you put your orthotic in every shoe that you have each time you wear it. So your orthotics should last anywhere from about 6 to 8 months before you need to replace those orthotics.
I have a question too. When looking for new shoes, like you gave all these ones an F rating, what would help us look for like something with an A or B at least? But how do we know we're picking up a shoe in the shoe store? What kind of arch support it has? What clues are we looking for?
That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go through each one of these shoes, and I'm going to give you what's called my shoe talk. So every patient that comes in gets my shoe talk to tell them what's good and bad and what to look for in a good shoe. So right now, the shoes itself don't have an F rating. Just the insert, just the arch support guy has an F rating. So overall, I'm not giving these shoes an F yet. I'm going to give you a rating for each one of these shoes as I go through each one individually. Okay?
I think we should just take Dale shopping with us when we need our shoes. That's all. I mean, let's just make it easy.
I've told people, bring in all your shoes. They brought in bags of a dozen shoes, and I'll look at each one for you and say, this one's good, this one's not good. If you need help with that, I'm happy to do that too.
Right.
But the first thing I wanted to demonstrate is the importance of a good arch support, and why that makes sense and why that helps someone that does not have normal arch support. Like Dustin here, his feet do not have good arches. Just like most of us, not picking on you, Dustin. I bet if I put everyone here in the chair, we probably have very similar issues. So you can go ahead and sit down there again, Dustin. And we'll take these off. And then we'll go ahead and go through, I'll go through the shoe talk. Do you want to continue from here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
we skip news.
What's that?
We skip news.
Okay. So this is a Nike brand shoe. Everyone's like, oh, Nike, that's a great shoe, right? Well, like I said from the beginning, all brands make good and maybe not so good shoes. Now, I can tell these are shoes that have been around for a while. The person that wears them probably has not replaced them for a while, because I can look at the tread, and the tread is really worn down. So the first thing I look for in a good shoe is called the heel counter. That's the back part of the shoe heel here. The heel counter is your most important thing for ankle stability. So if you're someone that gets frequent ankle sprains, or you have issues with stability, or if you're an athlete, if you're doing any kind of weight shifting, cutting activities, whether that's football, basketball, tennis, pickleball. I mean, just about every sport I can think of has cutting activities, unless you're a straight ahead sprinter, right? They need a good heel counter here in the back. So your heel counter is how stiff this back part of the shoe is. And you should not be able to pinch it together like I can here. Okay, so this shoe, I can pinch both sides together really easily without much force. And that tells me that there's not, a good heel counter on this shoe. Okay, so this does not pass my test for the heel counter. It should be stiff enough that when you pinch it, it should just come a little bit together like that. It should not be able to pinch both ends like that. Okay, so that's your heel counter. There's 3 different components, well, 4, including the orthotic, which we already talked about. So that's the number 2 thing I look at. Number 3 thing I look at is how easily your toe comes back here. So you shouldn't easily be able to pull the toe back to the tongue of the shoe. So that's too much motion. Okay. Now, I will give the caveat that these are old shoes. Maybe when they were first bought, they would meet some of these tests, but now they no longer meet it. So it's time for a new pair of shoes for these, for this person. So bringing that toe back should not be that easy. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4 is wringing a towel out. You shouldn't be able to wring it like this, like you're wringing out a towel. So that's too much motion there. So this shoe does not pass any of my tests. Does not have a good orthotic, no arch support, does not have a good heel counter, does not have good front back support or stability, and does not have good rotational stability. Okay.
So the Nike fails.
So Nike fails because of this particular brand of that shoe. Again, it's not the brand. It's just, and this says Nike running on it. This is not a shoe that I would wear for running on uneven surfaces. I'd be really worried about this person having ankle problems.
That hump in the sole looks kind of weird too. See the hump in the back where your fingers are on it?
Yeah,
now? That's kind of different.
There's people come out with weird designs like that.
Something different.
Anyway.
Now, you said that the fact that it is a worn-out shoe probably contributes to it.
That could contribute to it as well. I mean, if this shoe's more than 6 months to a year old, maybe when it was brand new, it had more of this support and stability. It's just the components of it are worn out. You need a new set of tires at this point in time, right? Okay.
Running on slicks.
So the next is the Saucony. The Saucony is, I'll do the test here. So we'll look at the back here. The pinch test, that actually passes my pinch test, okay? That is not easy to pinch the back together. So this has a pretty good heel counter. And you can see in the shoe, it has actual buildup of leather on the back, and that helps actually good ankle and stability there, okay? As I said, it did not pass the orthotic test. It needs an insert there. So that was number 1. Number 2, it did pass the heel counter test. The toe, see how easy it is to pull that toe back to the tongue? So that does not pass that test there. It's lost the stability there. And maybe this is an older shoe here that initially had that, but it no longer does. And then the rotational test, that's not too bad, so it passes the rotational test. So I would give this shoe a C. The Saucony a C based on that testing. The Nike an F, the Saucony a C.
Okay.
The next is the New Balance shoe, and New Balance is a shoe that's been around for a long time. I've always thought highly of New Balances. Mostly they make good shoes. Sometimes I see a patient in New Balance and they don't pass my test. But like the other test, it did not pass the orthotic test. It just has this flimsy piece of material on the inside, so it doesn't have the support needed for someone that needs arch support there. Okay. The heel counter test, okay, I can squeeze it a little bit, but not too much. So I would say this passes my test here for the good heel counter. New Balances typically have good heel counters in them, so that's not usually a problem for the New Balance. The toe to tongue, I can't easily push the toe back to the tongue, so that passes that test there. And then the rotational stability, that's pretty good too. I can't wring it out like a towel. So I would probably give this shoe, I'll give it a B+.
Oh,
the only thing that didn't pass is the orthotic insert there.
All right.
And then what brand do we have here? The Under Armour shoe. Okay, so the Under Armour shoe, like I said, did not pass the orthotic test. This actually has the inside's glued in, so I'm not going to tear that out. But looking at the heel counter, that has some pretty good stability there. I can't easily pinch those two ends together, so that passes that part of the test for me. Then the toe back to the tongue, that has some good support there, so that's not easily to pull back, so that passes that part. And then the rotational, that's pretty good too. I'm not able to wring it out like a towel, so that's pretty good as well. So I'll put this one in the B+ category as well. Now, what you're all going to fail is not a single one of these shoes came untied, okay? Every single one of you pulled the shoe off without untying it, and I see this a lot. So, and I know what happens. We slip these shoes on, and these become the slip-ons, right?
What gives that away?
No longer tie shoes. No one ties shoes anymore. But if you're an athlete, or if you're someone that has ankle instability, chronic. I had a patient just the other day. This patient has hypermobility in a lot of joints, and this hypermobility has caused a lot of problems. And so I had this person's shoe off, and I went to write a note. I said, go ahead and put your shoes on. I went to write a note, and the shoes were back on in about 2 seconds. I'm like, wait a second, something's not. How do you put those shoes on in 2 seconds? She didn't tie the shoes, okay? So the person that has hypermobility, ankle issues, is not tying their shoes, so they're not getting the benefits of the laces securing their foot inside the shoe.
Gotcha.
So if you, like the guys here, are not tying your shoes, that's an issue, okay?
I was thinking of the slip-ons. That's why I asked.
Yeah. So you need to put especially if you're going to be doing any kind of activity event. Like if you're sitting and standing in an office, probably not a big deal. But if you're going to mow the lawn, uneven surfaces, if you're going to play an activity, pickleball, tennis, basketball, whatever it is, you have to securely put that shoe on your foot by tying the laces securely. That's why we have laces on our shoes, right? They're to give that extra security to keeping the shoe on the foot and keeping the shoe on the foot to give you that stability that you need in the foot and ankle. And I can guarantee you, everybody at home's like, oh yeah, I'm not tying my shoes. I need to tie. Or your spouse is like, you need to tie your shoes. That's what we do, because we all, human nature, we all kind of get a little bit of laziness, right? Yeah. And we're like, our favorite shoe becomes our slip-on shoe, and it starts to lose what the benefit is as far as the stability and the value of stability that a shoe gives you.
You never did that back in high school? Had your shoes untied?
Well, that's what people do too, right? They never even tie their shoes. Right. They're just untied, or they put the little things on the ends.
Right, with the hot tops.
It's just got the look of the shoe. But if you need that ankle stability for your activity, then by all means, please make sure you're tying your shoe.
I feel like my mom when I was in high school was yelling at me. She's tying your shoes.
I knew this was going to happen before I did the show. I'm like, I bet you everyone's not going to have their shoes untied.
Oh, no, they're always that way. All right. How about we take a short break? We done with Dustin, or you got more with him?
I think we're done with Dustin on the chair.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have more, and I assure you our shoes will be tied.
Properly.
We'll be back with more after this.
So,
Spring has
you can tell
sprung.
me if-
When it comes to ice cream, none are quite as big as Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican food. For over 78 years, the highlight of spring and summer in Beaver County has been to visit Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican food. Now, here's the big question. Have you had your Hank's today? Enjoy a different custard flavor each day. Stop by and order your Mexican food, too, whether dining outdoors or at home. Make the trip to Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican food. You won't be disappointed. Make a tradition with your family or friends by enjoying Hank's today.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Wednesday, June 18th of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Beaver County Radio news correspondent Sandy Giordano reports that the Dollar General store in Aliquippa was recently robbed and the two suspects are being sought by Aliquippa police. Two black female suspects were spotted on the video camera of the store, and photos of them can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. If you have any recognition or information about these suspects, contact Aliquippa Police at 724-378-8000. Giordano also reports that a road in Monaca is now closed because of a tree that fell down on a power line. According to a Facebook post yesterday from the borough of Monaca, Cascade Road is closed. There is no time frame as to when the road will reopen. A priest in Beaver County will be going to another parish on July 1st after serving at Mary Queen of Saints Parish in Aliquippa. The Diocese of Pittsburgh made an announcement on Tuesday that Father Canis McMullen will move to a new parish. According to a Facebook post from Mary Queen of Saints Parish yesterday, Father McMullen will leave because of personnel matters. Father John Gisler III will be the new pastor of Mary Queen of Saints Parish. According to a release from Congressman Chris DeLuzio's office, DeLuzio is kicking off Western Pennsylvania Manufacturing Week this week. DeLuzio will be traveling across the 17th Congressional District and will have meetings with stakeholders which show the manufacturing to security and national economy. DeLuzio will also go over some of his work in Washington to help industrial policy to make opportunities and jobs in Western Pennsylvania. Fireworks shows in Beaver County and around Pennsylvania are almost ready to launch. The headliner is the Beaver County Boom in Bridgewater on Saturday, June 28th. This show also includes Cosmic Connections, a Zambelli fireworks show that won Festival Grand Champion in 2024 at an international fireworks competition in Canada. More information about local fireworks shows and some other shows can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy today with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. We'll see a high near 84. Showers and thunderstorms tonight will drop down to a low around 70. Cloudy and breezy tomorrow with rain and thunderstorms likely throughout the day and evening. Will reach a high near 78 and a low around 59. And some much needed sunshine expected on Friday. We'll see highs near 82 and lows around 63. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
The warm weather is just around the corner, and now is the perfect time to call Rochester Paving and Seal Coating. Rochester Paving and Seal Coating is a fully insured, fourth-generation, locally owned and operated family business that is your one-stop shop for all of your asphalt needs. Whether it's residential or commercial paving or seal coating, Rochester Paving and Sealing has got you covered. With nearly 40 years of servicing Beaver County and the surrounding area, there is no need to call anyone else but the pros at Rochester Paving and Seal Coating. Call today for your free estimate at 724-775-3021. We have Art Cornell here from the Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. Art, what's new at the cemetery?
We've just completed a new addition to the mausoleum with above-ground burial crypts, indoor and outdoor niches, and family areas. The Beaver Mausoleum advantages include no plot maintenance, the convenience of a heated and air-conditioned building for visitation, and an adjoining private chapel. It's a perfect final resting place for your loved ones.
Thanks, Art. Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum, serving all of Beaver County since 1865.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org. It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
All right, we're back here on the Beaver County Radio Morning Show. Frank Sparks, Scott Tatey, Dale Reckless, visiting with his monthly visit here from MRS Physical Therapy. We've been talking about shoes and feet today, and you can go back and watch this video on the Facebook page on WBVP-WMBA at any time and check it out. So, all right, Dale, where are we going here with Dustin standing with the shoes? Diane Brown wants you to check out her shoe now.
Yeah, so this shoe is not recommended. It's going to get an F. And I wouldn't be surprised if this individual has a lot of foot-ankle problems. Maybe he's developing some bunions on her feet. High heels, any kind of a lift is bad for your toes and squeeze your toes together. But obviously doesn't have any kind of ankle support, arch support. This person chose fashion over function.
Yeah. She's even giving everybody a thumbs up with it. So, all right. So where are we going with Dustin now?
So we have two more tests we're going to do here. So you guys listening or watching at home can participate with his test as well. So if you're watching at home or listening at home, the person's going to be standing up. And I want you to be holding on to something. So this is not a balance test. So hold on to something so you have some support. So Dustin's just going to put a hand on the wall next to him. So he has some support, and it's just coming up on your tippy toes. So you're going to come up on your tippy toes, raise the heels up as high as you can, and you're just holding that for a 3-second hold. So I can see Dustin has a really good heel rise. His foot is coming all the way up off the ground. He can hold it up there for 3 seconds, no problem. You can come on back down there, Dustin.
Show off.
So if you at home had difficulty with this, meaning you couldn't get all the way up off the ground, or you couldn't hold it for 3 seconds, that's an indication that you have some definite weakness in your plantar flexors, your gastroc muscles. And these muscles are important for walking, any kind of propulsion, going up and down stairs. It impacts your balance. If you're an athlete, it impacts your running, jumping, things like that. So that first test is a real simple test. Usually I do it with my older clients that are having some balance issues because it's an indication of a balance problem specific to your ankle muscles and strength of your plantar flexors, your gastroc muscles that we need to work on. Okay? So if you're not able to do that at home, or you couldn't hold it for 3 seconds, or you didn't have a good heel rise, then you probably have some balance issues that you need to see us at MRS Physical Therapy about. The next test is a single leg heel raise. So this is like next level. So just on one leg, you're coming up and down. So Dustin will have you hold onto the wall, and let's just do your right foot. Okay? So your right foot, you're going to come up and down as many repetitions as you can, doing a full heel rise. So go up and down. That's good. 1, I'll count them out. 2, and keep going until I start to see you lose form. 4, 5. So count them out if you're doing it at home. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if he starts to lose heel rise, 16, or he starts to lose his balance, 17, 18, or his forearm, I'm going to stop him. 19, 20. Keep going at home if you can. 20, 21, 22, 23.
He's wearing out.
24. You got to get to 25. Come on, one more. You got it. 25. 25 is normal for Dustin. So, yeah, give a hand for Dustin, the intern. He did 25. He's going to have some calf cramps and some soreness tomorrow, or maybe the next day. Like, why is my calf so sore? Oh, yeah, I'm an intern at WBVP. That's what happened. So, if you're between the ages of 20 and 60, you should be able to do 25 single leg heel raises, meaning coming up and down on your tippy toe just on one leg. It's not a balance test, it's a strength test. Okay? So, again, 25 repetitions for the 20 to 60-year-old. 19 repetitions is normal for the 60 to 69-year-old. 14 repetitions is normal for the 70 to 79-year-old. And then 10 repetitions for the 80-plus. Dad, I know you're doing this at home. He's 90. So, Dad, all you had to do is 10 on each leg, and you're good to go. Don't try to be a 20-year-old and go for 25.
I was going to say, no, David, he probably kept on going.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He wants to see how he compares to the youngins out there. So if you're at 80-plus age, 10 repetitions on each leg is the normal limits. If you are unable to do that count for whatever age group you're in, that's an indication that you're losing some strength in your plantar flexions and your plantar flexors. Why is that important? Because that's your propulsion. That's what enables you to get a good step, your gait, your walking, going up and down stairs, getting up out of a chair. Your balance is impacted by that. If you're an athlete, like I said, running and jumping, you're impacted by that. Your activities outside, mowing the lawn, taking care of things like that is impacted. If you were not able to do that, that's showing me that you are starting to develop some weakness in those muscles, and that's what we need to work on at MRS Physical Therapy and Cranberry Physical Therapy.
All right, we got about 2.5 minutes left in today's show. So, how people get a hold of you, especially if they want to get those orthotics? Here, let me flip that mic on. Go ahead.
Yep. So remember, we have 2 sites for your listeners. We have MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater. That is right in Bridgewater inside of Stone Point Landing. And that number to get a hold of us there is 724-728-7550. Or if you want to get a hold of us at our Cranberry office, that's Cranberry Physical Therapy. It's on Route 19, right next to North Park Lounge. That number is 724-591-8121. If you're interested in getting some orthotics, we have them on site, so you can come down and pick those up. You don't need an appointment. You can just stop in and say, hey, Dale, I need a size 8, size 9, size 12, size 14, size 4, whatever it is. I keep a pretty good supply in both offices. If we run out, I can usually get them into my office within about 2 days, so a pretty quick turnaround. And again, they're good for 95% of the people. Do some people need custom-made orthotics? Yes. Custom-made orthotics cost about $450 to $500 to get them custom-made by a specialist. That's not necessary for most people, but I will let you know if I think you can be fine with a custom-made, with the over-the-shelf, off-the-shelf versus the custom-made. Every once in a while, I do get someone in, so I'm like, you really need to consider custom-made. The problem is the expense, and insurance doesn't cover it anyway, so... The off-the-shelf ones that I sell are only $48. If you're struggling with plantar fasciitis, which we touched base on a little bit, I have a number of different braces here. If you're watching, I have 2 different plantar fasciitis braces. These are night splints that you wear at night. What happens with plantar fasciitis is your foot gets tight overnight. What your symptoms are is typically that first step out of bed is very painful underneath your arch. And both these braces work well to keep your foot up into a semi-stretched or neutral position so you don't develop that tightness overnight. And during the day, we use these socks. These socks slip over your foot, and they're specially made so they have increased tension or elasticity right along your arch, so it gives you a little extra arch support. So you can wear these throughout the day when you're not able to obviously wear a boot. And then there's also this night sock that if people don't want the rigid boot, this is a soft night sock that someone can wear that does the same thing. It holds the foot up into a semi-neutral stretched position so they don't develop the tightness that happens overnight with plantar fasciitis. Again, plantar fasciitis, it's that first step out of bed and like, man, my foot's killing me. This really hurts. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it doesn't go away for a while. It can hurt you all day. When you come down, I will evaluate you. We'll treat you to get rid of the pain, and then we'll evaluate you to make sure that you don't get that pain that returns again by, do you need orthotics? Do you need different footwear? Is what you're wearing good, or should you go shoe shopping? And when you go shoe shopping, I'm going to reteach you what to look for in a good shoe, just like I went through every shoe today. As you could see, No one got 100% on the shoe test today. They all had something that needed to be added to it, whether that was an orthotic or getting a completely different shoe. And I'll also talk to you about what your goals are. Do you have goals to play pickleball, or you just kind of need something to wear around the house? That will help differentiate what kind of shoe is best for you as well. So any of those things, you come down to see me. We have direct access, which means you don't need a medical doctor script to come see us for most insurances. If you're having aches or pains, you can come see us and we can treat you. If you just want to come down for orthotics, you don't need a script for that, obviously. If you just want to come down and have me take a look at your shoes, just come on down and I can help you out with that. If you want to reach out to me through email, you can contact me at d.reckless@mrsphysicaltherapy.com. If you want to check out our website, MRS Physical Therapy, mrsphysicaltherapy.com is a great website that just has a lot of information like what we talked about today. It talks about all different diagnoses, neck pain, back pain, things like that. If you have any kind of specific questions for that, we can help you out. And like I said, we take care of everyday people that are just walking around. We take care of specialty athletes. We do high-level athletes, high school athletes. We have a number of high school athletes that are having ankle issues, knee issues right now because of basketball, volleyball, things like that. Some of those repetitive jumping athletes that you need a little extra support and guidance for the proper exercises to do. We can help you out with that as well. But please feel free to get in touch with us at MRS Physical Therapy or Cranberry Physical Therapy for whatever your needs are.
All right, buddy. See you again next month.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thank you, Dustin, the intern. We appreciate you.
All right. Coming up next, Mike Romai, live Mike here on Beaver County Radio.
You're listening to 99.3 FM. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBBP Beaver Falls.